limper. So we had a limper under the gun, and so we're adding an extra big blind. So that's where we get the 40 cents, 30 plus 10. And we're getting a player who's really calling everything. This is a great board to c-bet. And we're c-betting about 66 to 75% of what's in the pot. And that's usually what's going to happen when someone just limps like that. They're usually just coming in with anything, and we're seeing, I mean, it's only 9 hands, but let's say it was 9,000. 7801, okay, this is the absolute definition of a fish. 78% of hands that they're in, so obviously they're playing any 2 cards at this point. I mean, they're not playing 7-2 offsuit, but they might be playing 7-4 offsuit. They're never raising pre-flop, and their aggression factor is 1, which is very weak, meaning they're only betting when they have a big hand. So a lot of times you'll see these people, they'll call a raise at the flop. If it's a decent board to c-bet, you make a c-bet. The only time they're calling is when, you know, they've hit something. So here we are with ace-3 in the big blind. We get a min raise and the call, and you know, in this situation where, I mean, we might have the best hand with the ace high, but it's just such a, you know, iffy situation. I'm at this level, I'm just looking for the good situation to get my money in, so I'm just gonna let it go. And this is actually a tough board had we played it. It'd be interesting to see how this plays out. We'll never know. And so we got 36, and let's just say for a second everybody were to fold here. I'm usually not stealing, well, I'm not stealing with 36 in this situation. If we look here, we've got a player who basically doesn't fold with a short stack, and we've got a terrible hand. So if this was a nitty player, meaning someone like this guy here, who's 0-0 over 16 hands, this guy's basically only playing premium cards. We're stealing from them all day long because chances are they don't have a hand they want to continue with, so we can just take their blinds. However, this guy will play anything, and with 36 we just never know where we are unless we flop the nut, so that's why we wouldn't steal. We'll see a 4 peel off on this river, which would have been the nuts worth 36, right? Nope. Fair enough. So pretty interesting. This guy hits top pair and just get calmed down and someone sucked out. Guess it's not that interesting, is it? We're basically looking at this guy as pretty much any time he's coming in, we're going to be very dubious, and 84 isn't going to be good enough to get us into isolate this limper, which we will love to do, but it just won't be this time. And here we got a hand, definitely, if it gets folded around to us, we're making our standard raise. And wouldn't be surprised to see if this guy call and this guy fold, given their history. And we can c-bet this guy all day long, since it seems he's a pretty weak player. And the plan holds out. So, I mean, I basically saw a pattern of 39.6, 0.6. You're going to see that this is the guy who calls a lot pre-flop and gives up on the flop a lot. So, ideally, you can win a lot of hands this way, and it'll pad your numbers. You can get a decent win rate just doing what I just did. and it'll certainly help when you take a bad beat to actually bring yourself to about even during a session, and then it definitely pads the win rate when you're winning. And as I was getting to, the ideal situation against someone like this is that you do hit a big hand and they hit something, because whenever they hit something, they're not letting go. So you just keep betting into them, and you can stack off on a river. You know, if you hit a set or even a two pair or a straight or whatever, they have something like top pair, they're just not going to let it go. And that makes it a lot easier when we're c-betting and they throw in a raise or even just a call. We know we can just slow down and maybe we'll get lucky later on, otherwise we're giving up. Because a person like this isn't clever enough to be floating us or to do anything tricky. They think they're being tricky, but they're not. Alright, so we got Jack 6 in the big blind, and I've also added another table, and when I get into an interesting spot on the other table, I'll shove it over here, but I just added it just to hopefully get through some more hands in this short amount of time that we have. Obviously the play here is to check fold with such a weak hand, multi-way, and just hopefully we flop something miraculous, which we don't. So a lot of people will limp in with their aces or kings, and we can just get away from this. Or otherwise, I'd be happy to see runner straight. But we're pretty much done with this hand. Well, that's one of the runners we need. That is not the other one. Eight-4, not strong enough for us to continue. So we'll just wait for a better opportunity. I'm always recording pretty much no matter what I have on the button cutoff and hijack seats, because it's just so important to play position that sometimes it doesn't matter what you have, you're making a raise. So this table's the exception. When you've got a 41-6 and a 48-4, stealing opportunities are really at a minimum, but since these guys are so weak post-flop, there's a case to be made even that you raise any two cards and then you still, outplay them at the flop because they're so weak. So we'll just see how things go there. Make our raise. I don't think I've seen a 3-bet yet, which is kind of crazy. And again, we're betting those kinds of flops against this kind of guy. And there's a case to be made here to go ahead and just get it in with this guy, even though I'm putting him on the ace. And we do have outs. And if he doesn't have the ace, he folds. I'm just going to go ahead and bet it. We'll see what happens. I don't know what he's continuing with, but apparently it wasn't the ace, so I'm guessing he's on some sort of draw. Here's a situation here where the small blind limps in. I'm never allowing that. Call me a bastard or what you will, but it's just not. It's not going to be okay in my game. I'm not going to allow you to do that. So I'm always sticking up for myself and defending my blinds when I can in situations where someone's showing weakness. And here we have a hand of Jack-Jack. So most likely we'll be looking to make a raise here. Let me make sure the other table, nothing's going on. Okay.